With the original Lords of the Fallen, the Surge and is a sequel over the course. With Last Desator of the deck, 13 has delivered 3 solid float Souls-likes, but with its next game. The studio is providing in a somewhat different directions upcoming action RPG Atlas Fallen. It's looking like a promising action RPG that prioritizes speed and style and everything from its combat too. Its traversals and that combined with its sandy post-apocalyptic setting seems to be turning quite a few heads in the game's directions ahead. Of its launch on August 10th, here we are going to talk about a few of the most crucial details about Atlas Fallen that you should be aware of setting and story. Atlas Fallen is set in an epic fantasy world that is shining in the shadows of a cataclysmic event that happened a long time ago. In this buried fantasy land, players step into the shoes of a nameless protagonist who must rise up and fight against the corruptions of Talos. Combat Atlas Fallen is emphasizing speed and style above all else and its gameplay. And combat is one of the areas where that seems to be the most prominent, with the focus being on combining your abilities. And fast attacks with combos, aerial attacks, dodges, parries, and the like during skirmishes, your primary tool will be a magical gauntlet which has the power to shape the sound around you into any weapon you want. 3 weapon classes are available in the game, with a large gauntlet, a battle AX, and a whip-like sword, of which you will be able to have 2 equipped at any given time. Essence Stones, another critical component of the combat system. As Essence Stones, which you will find scattered throughout the game's environment. Each stone provides unique passive or active buffs and abilities, and with over 100 of them defined, it seems players will have plenty of flexibility and how to build up their character. Momentum using Essence Stones abilities will also tie in with the momentum mechanic as you dish your hour attacks in basic combos. You'll be gradually fill up your momentum bar, which will come with the unique risk reward mechanic, so you will be more vulnerable against incoming attacks. The higher the bar fills up, the more and better sensibilities. You will be able to unlash, fill it up to a contain point, and you will be able to use a special ability Tide. Do whatever weapon you have equipped. The World Atlas Fallen is not going to be an open world game, but Deck 13 is promising a large and expensive adventure. Nonetheless, and says the action RPG is the biggest game world it's ever created. The world will be divided up into multiple open areas, and across those areas players will be exploring castles, forests, oases, mountain ranges, caves, and much more. TRAVERSAL moving through the sandy world of Atlas Fallen is going to be central to the experience here, with the players having access to a variety of unique abilities that will hopefully turn travelers and a quick and thrilling affair from air dashing to Santa gliding to the good old double jump traversal. Abilities will also be available, while players will of course also be able to use them in combat exploration and optional activities. With traversal being one of Atlas Fallen key gameplay pillars, and with its focus on fast movement, its world has been designed to be differently than what you would expect from Deck 13's. Games which in a nutshell means larger and more open areas to move across and explore according to the developer. Each of the game's areas will offer hours of content, some of which will supposedly be the most challenging content in the game. For those not satisfied by the difficulty of the main quest, raising buried objects exploration won't just be a simple matter of moving from point A to point B. In Atlas Fallen, so surely we can still expect plenty of that. Nonetheless, from time to time players will also come across objects or environmental elements that will be buried Beneath, the ascents which you can raise from the ascent field graves to open up new gameplay opportunities from a newly opened path. To hidden areas that could not be explored previously, choice and consequence mechanics, choice and consequence mechanics won't be the main focus in Atlas Fallen, and you cannot expect them to be at least an ancillary part of the experience. Primarily those will come in the form of dialogue, choices, and the decisions you make will at times have major consequence, including whether or not contain characters die that say deck 13. He says that so there might be some diversions and tonal changes to the story based on your choices, the larger, more important story.